Well, the general election is upon us, and what are the main parties saying in relation to the main themes of my channel? Reaching net zero, being self reliant, energy independence, um, more comfortable, warm homes, lower bills. What are they saying about these things that we discuss here on this channel? I downloaded the 5 manifestos from the 5 main parties. Sorry if you're in Wales or Scotland. I apologise. I'm just one of these softy southerners here down on the south coast. These 5 manifestos, I did plan to open them up one at a time and just walk you through their little sections on net zero. Each of them has something. This guy not so much. Villain or hero, however you see him. Definitely the antithesis of climate emergency, net zero aspirations, and moving in that direction. And the Green Party, their manifesto was full of things that didn't quite fill me with much confidence, even though it seems like they're less of a two-dimensional party these days. They've actually got some interesting policies outside of let's save the planet, which is great. But ultimately, I started recording a video. I started going through these sections, but it was just so boring, and it just sucked the life out of me. I would not recommend that you download these 5 PDFs on the major parties, and I would not recommend that you spend time reading their sections about reaching net zero, because they're just full of a load of waffle, very little specifics, very little data. These manifestos are very much big picture, rough overview, very high level plan of roughly the direction we want to go. And they're all, apart from reform, they're all pretty much saying the same thing. The dividing lines between our future Prime Minister here, Mr. Change apparently, and the incumbent, which we don't even get a picture of him. He's already fallen so far out of favour. All we get there is a little scribble, the Right Honourable Rishi Sunak. But the difference between them is so slim, and it's kind of depressing, to be honest with you. So what's the point of me even re-recording this video after having a look at their little areas? Make Britain a clean energy superpower. They got a massive section between page 47 and page 61, but it is just soul destroying to try and wade your way through that. So what do I recommend? Ultimately, it is up to us as the people to make a change one by one, and we're not going to be bailed out by the incumbent or incoming political parties. We are not going to be saved by a future government policy. In fact, I believe the exact opposite, that no matter what happens, the march towards net zero is, in fact, it's just inevitable. And it doesn't really matter which political parties we have. Most people are now seeing the benefits, whatever they may be, and I know people have different motivations to it. Some people, they just want solar panels just to save money on their bills, and that's fine by me. It's a step in the right direction and I applaud it. Other people are doing it solely for local air quality, or they are doing it for the wider environment. I don't really care what people's motivations are, but we're seeing individual people are making some of the biggest changes. Most of the heat pumps and the decarbonisation in heating is now happening in domestic homes. It's overtaken the commercial side of things, where a lot of commercial places have already converted onto heat pumps in over the last 20 or so years. The commercial environment was very far ahead, but now the domestic market is having more heat pumps installed than the commercial market was. And so we're seeing a big shift, and a lot of that shift is because you, the people who are watching this channel, you're clearly not listening to this guy here, and you are seeing that we can make a difference one by one. We can choose, we can vote with our 2 feet, as they say, but ultimately we do have a chance to apply some pressure. This guy's going to be our next Prime Minister. We all need to just face that, love it or hate it. But depending on what kind of seat you're in, we may be able to apply pressure to the incoming government to move ahead with more urgency on some of that agenda by perhaps voting for either the Liberal Democrats or the Green Party. Maybe you want to have a look at some of the polls for your constituency and have a look at some of the voting websites. What's it called? It's like Stop the Tories or something. Just Google Stop the Tories, you'll see. And on there, it can make some recommendations for you of if you're going to be in a safe Labour seat this time round, then you can go ahead and vote for one of these other parties. And I know that the first past the post voting system is a flawed system, but it's not as binary and as black and white to say that there are just winners and losers. If, for example, you're in a seat that gets 60 or 70% of the vote for this guy and his followers for the Labour Party, then the higher percentage of either a green vote or an orange vote, that will just increase pressure on that MP in that constituency. They'll sit up and take notice if all of a sudden 10, 15, 20% of their vote is for the Green Party, and they will realise that there are hundreds, possibly thousands of constituents in their area that want to be moving further in this direction. So we really can help on so many levels. We can look immediately at our environment and our surroundings, and that's what a lot of people are doing, and we can make those changes without waiting for someone else to come along and pretending that they're our knight in shining armor. But we need to make change both by who we vote for, and we can make change by what action we're actually taking right now. Anyway, however you vote, maybe you want to pop some comments down below, but keep them civil, or I will just moderate them and remove them. I think we need to have a good, positive dialogue, and we need to be pushing for change. And this is what Labour are saying, but by reading their manifesto, it looks like actually this is just the continuity party. Sad to say it. That's all from me. Goodbye for now.